What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I have acquired a Dodge D600 truck, and over the last 3 months or so I've been filming some progressions of trying to get that thing running. It ain't running a while and it needed a lot of loving, and anyway, so I did film quite a bit of video, but for some reason I have lost the video, so I'm gonna have to just give you guys what video I do have. So you know, that's the best I can do for this video. There will be more, but a little backstory to the truck is that it's a 1967 Dodge D600 slant 6 4-speed truck, flatbed. It was my granddaddy's farm truck, and they bought it in 1977. My uncle bought it to haul pulpwood, and when he was done using it for that purpose, my granddaddy bought it for a farm. Well, over you know he's had it ever since 1977, as far as I know. And when I was a little kid, we used to haul tobacco on it. And when we had these big tobacco sheets, I mean, they were over the back glass, over the cab. You couldn't look through the mirrors. I mean, we just stacked tobacco to the ceiling, man, with that old D600, and we would take off to Greenville to sell tobacco. So that truck, I have a lot of history with it. Unfortunately, last year my grandfather died, and you know, as they were divvying up the property, I asked to receive the truck. It is a it's in very bad shape, guys. It's rusted. It needs a lot of love. So I've always wanted to build a rat rod, and this truck gives me the perfect opportunity to build that, because it's crusty enough. So like I said, it come with a slant 6 and a 4-speed, and it wasn't running when I got it. So my quest was to get the thing where it was moving and stuff under its own power. That way the guys on the farm could crank it up and move it here and there, mow under it, whatever they had to do, get it out of the way. And that was, you know, what I've been trying to do since August. So, and I've only been able to work on it here and there because of, you know, life and stuff like that. So I did take some video of that. Basically, my plans for that truck is I want to 12 valve Cummins swap it with a 5-speed. I want to drop it, put it on bags, and I want to build a rollback back for it. And I want to rat rod it out. I'll have some beams and stuff on, and I'll you know, make videos of all that stuff and the progression of the truck and what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to go about making things the way I want them. But I've kind of got a vision of what I want to do with it. It's going to be a really cool rat rod truck. It's my plans is to use it to haul my resto mod cars to shows and things of that nature. It will be a purpose-built rollback. It will have a 9,000-pound winch. It will be all that. The truck is, you know, more than enough truck to haul anything I want to haul on it, other than maybe even a semi or something. But anyway, guys, the truck, I have a lot of history with it. As a little kid, I mean, I remember taking long trips in that thing because Granddaddy, he put a governor on that truck, and it only would go like 45 miles an hour. And when you're driving from Ernle to Greenville, which is usually a 35-40 minute drive, and you can only drive 45, and it took about 10 miles to get up to speed because the slant 6 is so underpowered. But I mean, it did the job. But you know, just the memories in that thing and all the stuff, I think it's going to be really good for my heart and my soul to put that in that truck, rebuild it, rat rod it out, make it something super cool, give it new life. And anyway, guys, there'll be more videos to come of all the updates I'm going to do to it, all of the like ideas I have and all the stuff that I'm going to do. I've got some pretty cool ideas, and I'm going to theme it out. It's going to be really cool. So anyway, guys, there's more to come. So like I said, I'm going to show you all the video I took of all the stuff I had to do just to get it running, just to get the thing to run. So anyway, enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. So what I'm trying to do today is I'm going to try to get this old rig, see if she'll fire up and run a little bit. Now, I can't run it long because I discovered that this old pickup, this old 2-ton, the water pump belt and all that is not on it, so I'll just be able to just run it long enough to make sure that it does run. The truck's got an old 4-speed and old slant 6 in it, and I'll give you the whole backstory to this rig. But she's in pretty rough shape, but I think the doctor can take care of it. All right, guys, I gave it my best shot. So it ain't getting no power to the ignition switch. So I threw my tester on here, tested it out. The battery was getting 13 volts from the old rig. You can see the old external solenoid right here. I'm getting 13 volts to that connection. Now down here on the starter, there's a power wire going to the starter solenoid. Then cut off the starter solenoid, it comes back to this external solenoid for cranking. At that post, I'm getting nothing. So I'm thinking either this is dead or that starter solenoid is dead, one or the other. This one I can easily replace. So I'm gonna try that first, see if I can at least get it to take a charge and bump. If it's take a charge and bump, I also gotta get some PB blaster because all these connections on this monojet Rochester are corroded up so bad that they're sticking open. You can see it right here. This is the ignition. I mean, not ignition. This is the throttle cable, and it is stuck on and open and stuff like that. The choke don't even work anymore. So I got to put some PB blaster on that, get it straightened out. And I got a little mousy mouse friend in here somewhere. I saw him running up and down the cables, so he'll probably be really pissed off when I fire this bitch up. But anyway, guys, that's what's going on right now. So I got a little work to do before this thing is starting. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're here today to fart with the old D600. See if we can get her to kick off a little bit. We also tell you right now that old slant 6 in there, she's been stubborn. I had to PB blast the entire throttle assembly for that thing because it was all locked up. So we're gonna let it soak for a minute. I'm gonna put a little starter fluid to it. I'm gonna arc off the damn firewall mounted solenoid and see if the bad boy will fire. Guys, we're back at it again. I did find a few things wrong with this thing, so I pulled all the spark plugs out and I sprayed some little bit of oil down in that in them cylinders, and I rotated it and it spun pretty free, so the motor isn't locked up. The other thing I found was that the ground wire to the coil was broke, so it wouldn't have fired anyway. Like I said, I wired up this new Ford solenoid, and it will turn over, and it's kind of weak, so when you got the spark plugs in, it's under compression, it's really weak. So I'm thinking that the starter solenoid probably shot. So I might have to take the starter apart and rebuild it. And I'm not sure the fuel pump's working because I'm not sure that I'm getting fuel to the old Carter here. But either way, guys, I do have it rotating. I did put the spark plugs back in. I do have one problem that I got to find the spark plug laying around here because I didn't bring it with me. But I managed to break one. But these spark plugs are, you know, old and wore out at best. And it broke right off inside the #1 cylinder, so I had to pull it back out. So now I've got to find a spark plug just enough to see if I can get this thing fired up. Good thing is I got the throttle linkage and the choke linkages and all that stuff freed up. So maybe I can get a little bit of fire in a hole with some ether and see if this thing will start running at least a little bit. All right, guys, so I pulled this starter off and it is pretty old. It's at least probably 20 years old, and I think my culprit is this return wire here. It's loose inside of there. I'm going to take the solenoid apart, kind of look at the stuff on the inside, make sure everything looks halfway decent. It might be corroded, but this thing was chewed up pretty bad. So somewhere along the line, this solenoid is pulling too much power from the battery to run this Bendix. And the Bendix looks like it works pretty good. I mean, it's moving and stuff, and it engages pretty easily. So I think it's this. So I'm gonna take this apart and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, we put a new starter on this rig. I think the fuel pump's bad, but She will give me a bump, I think. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Nope, no fuel. Yep. Damn it. All right, guys. So we have changed starter. That boy will turn over pretty good now, and it'll actually want to kick off a little bit if you spray some ether in the carburetor. The whole bath system here is leaking pretty bad because I had the container off the top, but it was pumping. Come to find out that this fuel line, you know, I was thinking that maybe the fuel line was clogged up, but it's not. So I unhooked the fuel pump right down here. There's the fuel pump. I unhooked it from the line here going to the carburetor, and I spun this motor over for about 45 seconds or so to try to see if I could get that stuff to come out, and it ain't pumping any fuel out. So either I got two scenarios here. So one, either the fuel pump's locked up and it's not working anymore, which I'm going to bypass with an electric pump. I'm going to go buy one of those cheap AutoZone pumps and mount it on the firewall here and run it to the ignition system. Or the fuel tank itself has a hole in it, is leaking gas, which I don't think it is because I put 5 gallons in this thing, which these old trucks are pretty funny. Because you'd think, okay, so here's your gas cap right here. Here's your door handle to get in. Here's your gas cap. So you put your gas in here. Well, right here's the seat. Right there is the gas tank. Ain't that some shit? But anyway, so either the tank is leaking, which I don't think, because this place would reek of gasoline if it was leaking. I think it's the fuel pump. So I'm gonna go to AutoZone, get a boss mounted. Go to AutoZone, get an electric fuel pump mounted on the fender well over here. And I'm going to bypass the boss mounted pump altogether and see if we can't get this thing to go. All right, guys, so this is the little fuel pump I'm going to put on it. It's a little electric Elderbach fuel pump. It does 4.5 to 7 psi, which is perfect for that carburetor. It has a built-in filter. It's pretty simple. So we're going to try to put this bad boy mounted up in there, get it done, and see if this bad boy will fall. All right, guys, so the fuel pump says to be 1 foot from the tank or so, and it's directional push. So here's the line coming off the fuel tank, and here's the line that goes down the chassis here. It goes down the rail all the way down to the front of the truck. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount that fuel pump here. We're going to replace this line and plumb it right into the fuel pump, and then we're going to run the rubber line as far as we can to the metal line here and connect it there. So, well, we got her going. Ain't running like 30 years. Here we are, traversing the road. It stinks and it's leaking oil and blowing oil real bad. It's loud as hell. There ain't no exhaust on it. But yeah, baby, this is gonna be my new rat rod. So more to come. You like that? You like that?
Put it in the bag.
Put it in the bag? Okay.